Good evening. Welcome to Headwaters. Tonight's program is about the state prison located outside of Coeburn, Virginia, Camp 18. This is one of several shows this season about violence. It is our opinion that imprisonment, along with war, is one of the most violent acts of society. The black and white material was taped in 1977 and the color material in 1983.
Main difference in taking a jury trial or judge trial?
12-1.
In a jury trial, it takes 12 supposedly respectable citizens to find you guilty.
If it wasn't for plea bargaining, if it wasn't for the plea bargains, then the whole judicial system would screech to a halt. So wouldn't that naturally make your attorney push for a plea bargain, or especially the state-appointed ones?
Save the state money.
Right.
That don't do you any favors.
Right.
See, because 9 times out of 10 the plea bargain, you come to penitentiary. See, they ain't gonna plea bargain you on the street.
You don't accept which lawyer that appointed to you. Do you have the right to?
You can file a lawyer in the middle of trial. The judge will tell you, like, see, I feel that you're playing with the judicial system, and you can believe when you do get an attorney that you will get them acts. So it wouldn't be, you know, in your best interest. You might file 3 and get a good lawyer, he give you a good defense. But by some freak, you just get found guilty. That judge, he'll sit back and grin then.
The Supreme Court of Virginia can rule possession of marijuana as a misdemeanor. The Supreme Court of Ohio can rule it as a felony. And every judge has his, that's why he's there. He's appointed to make the decision.
You done heard him say, don't come bring this in my courtroom. So that'll tell you where you at right there. Everybody in here will tell you that they were innocent. See, so it's
But this just now we on this.
yeah, well, you talking about the guilty and innocent plea. If you fool enough to be innocent and say guilty, then you deserve everything you get. But I'm talking about a dude that go in there and know he guilty off the top, which 90% of the dudes in here are guilty. Don't care what they tell you, they're guilty. You can believe that. See, when they go in there and they know they're facing 1 to 20, and they say, well, I might can get 2, they start the angling, the game coming. They don't care nothing about the judicial process. They're trying to get as less time so they can get back on them streets. See, all that stop right then.
Do you think you can get some mercy?
Times, yeah.
At times, yeah.
So would you say it depends on the type of crime that you commit?
Yeah, and it depends
And
on where you're at, what
And how you give it up.
How you give it up?
If that judge asks you, say, you got anything to say, and you hang your head and say, no, sir, I don't have, then you deserve life. See, because if a dude wants something, he gonna rap for that. You can believe that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this here. Where I'm from, I don't care what you say. You understand? Ain't nothing gonna change the judge's mind if he gonna give you the time.
Yeah, well, I've seen him change it. When he say 10 years with 5 suspended, his first thought was giving you 10 years. The second thought was 5 suspended.
Are you sorry that you ever got into crime, or are you sorry you got caught?
Am I in a situation where I can apologize for it? I'm locked up. I done took somebody's money and I'm gonna go tell them, so I'm sorry I took it, and they ain't got it back.
Society makes you sorry.
So I can't say I'm sorry that I took those people, but I kind of wish that I hadn't of them.
You regret
I
doing
greatly
it,
wish I hadn't.
you know?
If I hadn't more or less rationalized it out of my mind why I'm in here, not because I was put in by the judge or by society, more or less some superior force, God or whatever one would believe in, that this had to happen to me for me to straighten my ways up, and when, you know, because this time not only hurts me, I think it hurts my wife and children even more than it hurts me, and that's the thing that I have to accept, you know, that I caused this, you know, this hardship on my wife and children, or you know, or if you know, like if I didn't feel that I should be in here for the crime that was supposedly committed, that my wife and children, you know, are suffering for nothing, you know. And I think that's the hardest part to swallow. I mean, as far as for myself, if I had nobody, I don't think it would be that hard. I guess everybody else would feel the same way. And if wasn't anybody out there that they loved, it would be a lot easier.
I'm the correctional counselor at Wise Correctional Unit number 18. Unit 18 is primarily a work institution. We generally house 95 prisoners, and we have 100% employment among the prisoners. Everyone here has an assigned job, and work is forced. It is forced labor. There's a law in the Virginia Code books that I believe dates back to 1901 that states every able-bodied prisoner sentenced to Virginia State Penitentiary will work on road maintenance duties. So in other words, that's our authority for forced labor. All of the Bureau of Correctional Field Units are located adjacent to area highway shops. And all of the 27 field units presently operating in the state of Virginia do road work.
I am E.R. Shelton with the Virginia Department of Highways. I am the area superintendent of the Coeburn area. I have worked with prison labor supervising 18 years. I think we need them because you can't hire people to get down in a ditch and dig or clean out drain pipe and so forth anymore. They can draw unemployment or welfare better, easier. And you take forced labor that way, you can get them to do about any job.
Well, I think they have some good boys in here. They have some good boys in here. They do good work, as far as I'm concerned, as long as I've got them. And if they don't do what I want them to do, or tell them what I want, why? I take it up with the man and let the man punish them for what they've done. Prison has changed a lot different now than what it used to be.
How long have you been working?
30 years. I've been chain gang 30 years. And it's changed it's changed a lot different than what it used to be.
Do you think those are changes for the better? Or
well, no. I'd rather have the old way like they used to have it.
How was that?
Well,
tell me about
if one messes up, he'd be punished for it good.
In what way?
Well, he would, let's see now. Well, they would punish him different. I think now they'd put him in jail for something they do, you see, for so long. Back when I started with them, if they'd done something out on the road to be punished for, they had them our stick camps, as I call it. That's in the building, and it would be fars in between so far, these here stoves. And they would tie them, put them up over there, you see, build a far in there, and warm them up that way, punish them that way.
And you thought that was a good thing?
Well, that was back then now. That was back then.
How long ago was that, would you say?
Oh, I'd say 25 years.
When that was going on, did you ever put yourself, try to figure out what you'd be like if you were in there?
Well, that's right, too. I figured that out. And if I went there and do the things, well, I'd be punished just like that. That was the rules back then now. That was
you'd rather really work under those conditions?
Well, you know what I mean now. That's back for the man that's working them. Wasn't in my condition, that'd be pretty tough, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
It would.
That's right.
I think it would be rough on the guy that was supervising, too, to know that was going to happen to another human.
No, it'd be easier on the man, because you wouldn't have no trouble with them. They'd go ahead and do the work. You wouldn't have no argument and nothing like that. They know if they done wrong, what they was going to get. They would be punished for it, And now, they're not punished for nothing, hardly. That's right.
Doing that to a prisoner, that's not rehabilitating him, that's making him worse. You can bring a guy in here that's in here for, you know, absolutely no reason at all.
That's right, that's right.
Bring him in here and you can make him mad, and when he goes back out there, he'll probably end up killing somebody because of the temper he got in here.
That's true enough.
I mean, is that right?
Well, see, he builds up while he's in here, then when he gets on the street, there ain't nobody over him, he just lets it go.
What this is supposed to rehabilitate prisoners and to get them out of the old habits that they was in for to start with.
Well, that's right. That's right, too. But
you can't have the world like it always was. It's got to change, and people's got to change with it.
Well, that's true enough, too. But I don't know if Mr. Boyd comes out here and he makes his talks of a morning, that we're responsible for you boys until you come back in. From here on out, I'll talk to Mr. Boyd about it, and I won't have no use you out here with me whatsoever at all.
Well, it's all right, I reckon. It's, you get out to see people. You can't talk to them a whole lot because they don't want you to associate with nobody. It's scared you're gonna, you know, get involved with somebody to plan or escape or some, you know, some old garbage like that. And well, the real reason to move here is because you have to work. If your doctor says that you're fit for, you know, for manual labor, you have to come out here and work. If you don't, you'd be put in isolation or transferred to another camp. So, it's all right, I reckon.
To me, this is a rural just like it was out in the street. I know people be moving around and you know, you walk by a dude and say, hey man, what's happening? Just like you would on the street, you know what I mean? Right in this little building right here all day. I stayed in there for 8 months when I first came here, you know. I got here in October and I was working in the kitchen as a baker, you know. Like I told the man when I first got here that I baked at the Sheridan Inn somewhere, and I ain't never had flour in my hand. But it was cold outside, I swear. But I learned to bake, you know, it didn't take long. I learned to bake at it.
You can either get 35 cents a day or up to 75 cents a day, according to how much work you do, what the foreman feels like you do. And I know myself, when I first got here, I just wasn't able to relate to the foremans up in this area. You know, it was just the people, I think, more so than anything else, and I wasn't able to relate to them, and I had a lot of problems.
You know, in a place like this, you really don't have that many decisions to make, you know, as say for your daily activities. And you get up by a bell, you eat by a bell, you know, you do this when you're told to do, you do that, you go to bed at a certain time, and all this.
You go at times. This is like a roebuck, you know what I mean?
Tell me where we're at and all that so that we know what you're doing.
What's this? What's this place? This is a Wise State Shop. And they had us up here, they got us up here unloading fertilizer. It's hard working, so now we're on 10 hours a day. From about 8 to about 5.
Do you get any overtime pay?
No. No, we don't. Just a regular 75 cents.
Well, my name's L.D. Terry. I'm a correctional officer, Wise Correctional Unit, 18, Coeburn, Virginia. We was instructed this morning to come to unload 1,000 bags of cement. Well, see, the public don't mess with the men don't mess with the public, and see to stay here, and for their safety and their welfare. I hold up for my men that come down here and work, and I try my best to be fair with them, and if I think it's the man not being fair with us, I'll call that man aside and I'll talk to him about it. Because if I was in pulling time, which I've been going on 24 years with the state, and I believe if it's pulling time, I'd rather man be honest with me and fair with me and see me do something wrong, tell me then, instead of, well, put me down later, you know.
How do you think the work that these prisoners do would compare with, say, a private highway crew or a state highway crew? I mean,
On some jobs, I say they do a better job. They'll do a better job, some of them, and get more done, too.
much the same as the years ago when we were...
With the inmates, yeah, it's about the same. Drugs, alcohol. You don't have too many people in penitentiary for murder no more. It's armed robbery, dope. And they waste the best years of life in the penitentiary, giving it away to states they are. And I tell them that too. Some of them ain't got no home, nowhere to go to. You got there and get mean, and people don't want them around them. And they figure they get in the penitentiary, that at least they know where they're at. I just don't understand it. Some of them sorriness, don't care, they ain't got no respect for themselves or nobody. All the time want to steal something that don't belong to them. What I got the hard way. I work for it.
If you had it to do over again, would you be there?
No. No. Getting old. I'd like to have something else rather to do, but I wouldn't go back. Chained. I've had a pretty good life. I had some hard times riding back and forth up the road, going to Fairfax, Virginia. And finally I got transferred closer home. Stay with my family a lot. I had 2 boys growed up, and they didn't know me. See, and the third one did, because I was closer home, and I had, well, it's different, you know, between the 2 and the one that growed up. You know, since I worked 20 days and off 10 at the time, back when I first started in '54.
The role of a prison, number one, is to protect society. The people that we have, the circuit courts have convicted them, and by convicting them and sentencing them, they are saying, we do not want this person in our society for a fixed amount of time. Our number one priority is to incarcerate individuals. Now, one of the goals is to rehabilitate an offender. Quite frankly, that is a more idealistic goal than a realistic goal. Somewhere around 76% of all released prisoners in the state of Virginia return for a second term.
You feel in general that by you been here that your feelings toward the streets maybe before you came here changed in, or do you think?
Yeah, well, I think I changed, but I thought I changed the first time too, you know. And, you know, I'm back, so I look at it like, you know, I tend to learn from everything that I do, you know, whether it's good or bad, you know, I try to learn something from it. And I've learned some things being here that I don't believe there's any other way that I could have learned it, you know. And, but as far as the people rehabilitating me, no.
Do you feel that you can become a drug addict in the penitentiary system?
Well, I don't know so much about the penitentiary system, but while I was in jail, my first time down, they were, before they started the methadone programs, they used to just dispense methadone right there in the jail. And you know, I got strung out on methadone, and then when I went back out in the streets, you know, I had to you know, get my shot.
So I would like to, you know, I don't say I would like to see drugs here, but I would like to see whether or not before I hit the street, you know, if some heroin was here, will I shoot it? You know, knowing if I go out here and start shooting stuff again, I'm coming back to penitentiary. I mean, there ain't no way out. I mean, you know. You can't, I ain't rich.
Was there anything better in life, I'm talking about sex and everything, to you than drugs?
You put me on the spot, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth,
I'm just
though.
asking you.
Right,
I know. I believe anybody that ever shot drugs wants to shoot them again, whether it's sooner or later.
If you accumulate something, and then all of a sudden you got a family arrangement, you can accumulate a few material things, and all of a sudden between a bag of white powder, you lose everything come to penitentiary.
Yeah.
You got to be a fool to shoot it again.
Why?
Because you look what you done lost.
Why?
You gonna come out the penitentiary with nothing and then go back and shoot more
No, he
dope?
said wanting to, man. You know, like I said, I want to, but that don't mean I'm gonna go out there and
Yeah,
shoot
man,
it.
I want to use them again, but I know it ain't no good for me. You see what I'm saying?
So in other words, you telling me you know something ain't good for you, but you gonna use it anyway.
Right,
So
right.
what that make you, Steve?
Right, a fool.
Oh.
And what that make you?
Makes me a wise guy, cause I know something bad for me. I know if I touch it again, I'm
Well,
gonna
you knew it
abuse
was
it, so I
bad for
don't
you
do
in the
it.
street, didn't you? Didn't
Yes,
you know
I
it was
did.
bad for you in the street?
But I was
Well, why you
withdrawn
use it?
without a bit.
Why did you use it?
Cause I was a goddamn fool
All
at
right
the time.
then. All right then.
See,
All
but I ain't
right
gonna
then.
tell you and lie to
You
nobody
wasn't
else
a
and say the
fool.
drug life is glamorous. I like what I did. I like getting high, cause I didn't like it.
You didn't like getting high?
Hell no.
Well, why you get high?
Cause I had a habit at the time.
Why you get high before you had a habit?
Being hip.
Is that why you got high, man?
That's why I got high, trying to be hip.
Well, I know this because they keep burning. Well, they don't bother me, now don't bother them.
Well, naturally, I don't like it, you know. I think it's too close in the area that it is in, and I also feel that they don't have the security out there that they need to have the hardened criminals out there that they keep out there. They do a certain amount, but is it worth it when they escaped to the fear that you sit in your home and go through you? Last time they got out, you know, they came on TV, and they was telling people they were loose in the Coeburn area. You know, so what does people do? They load a gun, right? You're sitting there. If you get too upset, the first person who walks up to your door, you're liable to shoot them. And once they walk away from that thing out there, you can walk 100 yards and you can be hidden in the brush around here anywhere. You know, and they've got mountains around here that they can hide out in for a month or longer if need to be. You can walk from here to Tennessee, or I couldn't stay in the woods, or from here into Kentucky. So I think when I say that we don't like it, I'm talking about a lot of people in Coeburn, you know. We don't need them here.
Well, I feel like if they've done anything that they should be punished for, they should be punished.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they should be treated like, you know, animals or anything like that. But I think that, I don't think that they ever do any work, enough work, anything like that, to ever hurt themselves.
You see them there sweeping the streets. We don't have nobody else to do it. If it was at town, they wouldn't do it. They're doing a good, excellent job. I think prisoners got to live, same as anybody else.
You don't feel any fear about having them in the community?
No. Look what we had in the White House when we had Nixon in there.
Well, we're taking the place of a machine. We're sweeping the road where cause the drum on the machine don't work too regular. It don't make sense. A machine with a drum on the end of it, they got a drum that could sweep this road. But instead they use men with a drum to push the dirt off the road in the first place.
Why do you think they do that?
They gotta have something for us to do.
I believe forced labor is showing them that our society expects them to work inside or out, or face the consequences of their behavior. Because our society is basically a work-oriented society. It's a proven fact in corrections that the higher the unemployment rate is, the more property crimes, the more forgery and uttering crimes that will transpire. So therefore, the prison population will go up. I guess one of the most depressing factors is the people who are being released from prison now. Realistic, their chances for employment are almost zero, because you have, what, an overall average of 10% of Americans unemployed now? And the prison population has always been the most seriously underemployed or non-employable segment of our population. And I think now it will actually worsen. And I think a guy has less of a chance of staying out now. The statewide averages is $12,000 per year per inmate. That is the total cost of incarcerating him. That is the staff salary, building maintenance. That is one of the major factors that is making our society reevaluate prisons at this time, because it's costing too much.
When I first got out the first time, they gave me $50 and, you know, patted me on the back and said, you know, take it easy. I mean, what did I do? You know, I took my $50, went and bought a pistol, you know.
We got a lot of people in the state systems in the state of Virginia that have potential but can't really utilize what they know how to do because they're not given a chance. I mean, just paroling a man is not giving him the chance that he needs. You know, like you got to give him something. You know, you got to put something in his hand that he can really pursue what he want to pursue with. You see, and the state don't do this. They just give you $25. One dude left here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They gave him $15. He is a grown man. Going out there in the street with $15 in his hand. He's not told to go see this agency. You know, he's not even given a Social Security card. The state, man, they don't, excuse my expression, but they don't care. They don't care, man. If they did, you know, like, the system would be set up a little better. You know, they don't have any type of system for the state. You know, just work. Who want to go out there digging a ditch, man? You know? I mean,
can't do that on the street.
Personally, I don't gripe about it from per se, but you know, like you got other people, man, that really want to do something, that don't want to come back to jail, that wants to learn a trade, you know, that really wants to get down and learn a trade because they're fed up with this type of life, but they just don't have a chance.
I think that confining a man, just confining no rehabilitation, I think that it hurts a man more than it helps him, because you take a man and come in for a small something, maybe he don't even really have any business in here, and because judicial systems are not infallible, and he stay in here, the company that he's in, all the things that he learned in here, and all this idle time. When he could be doing things to better himself, although he find out ways to make money while he's in here. He learned tricks from the older guys that have been in and out and been in and out. He knows ways of getting money, but he still don't have no rehabilitation. He still don't have no kind of vocational training where he could go out there and get a job. So it just makes him worse. He got all these tricks, but he don't have no trade. And if you get out there and he gonna resort to the tricks, you know, and I think it hurts a man, and I think it hurts the community too, because this man eventually will go back to that community.